Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green, Warriors trolled by Suns star following NBA play-in tournament loss. The Golden State Warriors lost to the Sacramento Kings in the first round of the NBA's play-in tournament on Tuesday night. They lost in ugly 118-94 fashion and were never really in the game, especially in the second half. This capped off an overall disappointing season for the Dubs, who have been the NBA's biggest dynasty since the mid-2010s. In that time, the Warriors have made 6 NBA Finals appearances and won 4 of them, most recently in 2021-22. Last year, however, the Warriors were ousted in the second round by the Los Angeles Lakers. And this year, they weren't able to make the playoffs at all. This latest loss feels like the unofficial end of the Warriors dynasty. After dominating the league for the last decade, this core of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green could finally be on their last legs, and that doesn't exactly make the rest of the NBA sad. Following the Warriors' loss on Tuesday night, rival Phoenix Suns center Jusuf Nurkic was active on social media. He made 2 posts on his X account, one with a GIF that says, "That's all folks," and one with 2 laughing emojis. Nurkic seemed to take a little extra joy in the Warriors' loss and elimination from postseason contention, and it's easy to understand why. Nurkic and Green went at it all year long when the Suns and Warriors faced off, dating back to December 12, when Green was suspended indefinitely, which turned into 12 games, after he hit Nurkic in the face. Then, later in the season, on February 10, the two again had an in-game altercation, and Nurkic was quick to go at Green after the game. "It's sad," Nurkic said to reporters. "He didn't learn anything. It's just a matter of time. He's going to knock somebody else again. I take everything back, what I said. He doesn't deserve a chance." Green responded to Nurkic on his podcast, "What in that game that happened with me would make you say something like that, other than getting embarrassed because you're just not good enough? I don't know. I thought it was really whack to go questioning my character because I destroyed you on the basketball court." Nurkic was able to get the last laugh, as his Suns avoided the play-in tournament altogether when they clinched the number 6 seed in the West on the final day of the regular season. The Suns will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs following the conclusion of the play-in tournament, which ends Friday. Warriors rival worth watching as suitor for Klay Thompson, report. With their season now over, the Golden State Warriors will ponder about what they'll do next with Klay Thompson. Thompson will enter the 2024 NBA offseason as a free agent. According to The Athletic's Sam Amick, one Warriors rival has their eyes on Thompson. The Dallas Mavericks are worth watching as a possible suitor as well, league sources tell The Athletic, Amick wrote in an April 17 story. Amick added that Grayson Allen's extension with the Suns will be a talking point in negotiations. The Phoenix Suns' decision to give Grayson Allen a 4-year, $70 million extension on Monday also becomes a relevant data point, with Thompson's camp sure to point out that a 28-year-old role player just landed a deal that pays him an average of $17.5 million annually. The Warriors have an expensive payroll even without Thompson on their books. They will pay $175 million for the 2024-25 season, though they could decline Chris Paul's $30 million contract. The Mavericks are a playoff team hoping to win a championship. With Luka Doncic as their main star, they are also a younger team than the Warriors. With Doncic and Kyrie Irving, the Mavericks wouldn't depend on Thompson to score if he agreed to join them. How the Mavericks would end up with Thompson is another story. Their payroll for the 2024-25 season will be almost $174 million. Thompson had an all-around horrendous performance in the Warriors' play-in loss against the Sacramento Kings. Thompson put up a goose egg in the points department, which included shooting 0-for-10 from the field. Despite Thompson's performance, Stephen Curry came to his fellow Splash Brothers defense. Everybody's going to talk about one game, Curry said via Associated Press. I know he wanted to play better. I know he's a true champion. We all prepare ourselves to play our best when the lights are bright. When it doesn't happen, nobody needs to tell you anything. Thompson's performance was not well timed, knowing that his free agency is coming up. However, knowing his history with both Curry and the Warriors, there's plenty of sentiment with Thompson. The Warriors' era of dominance with Curry and Thompson might very well be over, but that may not necessarily mean Thompson's time with Golden State is over. Heavy Sports' Sean Devaney spoke with a Western Conference exec about what Thompson's market will look like in free agency. You never know how a team values a player, but I could see him getting 2 years and $40 million, maybe 3 years with the third year partially guaranteed, the GM told Devaney in an April 17 story. The exec also warned that Thompson may not get what he wants because there isn't that much available money. It is going to be a slow market for everyone, there is not a lot of money out there, the exec said. If you are 34 and you had 2 major surgeries, you have to face that reality. At his age and having suffered 2 career-altering injuries, tearing his ACL and then his Achilles, Thompson may have to take a sizable pay cut. The questions will be how much he is willing to shed off his price tag and who would give him the contract he wants. What Myers believes will drive Klay's impending free agency decision. Where Klay Thompson will play next season remains a mystery, with the prolific shooter's impending free agency shaping up to be a marquee 2024 NBA offseason storyline. Former Warriors general manager Bob Myers, who spent over a decade at Golden State with Thompson, weighed in on the 5-time NBA All-Star's looming unrestricted free agency. Myers detailed the connection between the Warriors' foundational core 3 players, while revealing why he believes Thompson's desire ultimately is to remain in Golden State. I will say this. Great reverence for Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry and Draymond Green, Myers, now an ESPN analyst, said on Wednesday's NBA Countdown. I don't know that people know or believe the competitiveness in those 3. You don't do what they've done for the amount of time they've done it without being special inside. Obviously, we see what they do as far as shooting Steph and Klay and what Draymond does defensively. But who they are as people is rare. So, it's hard for me to watch Klay almost even heading into free agency. I don't think he even knew the free agency date. Most players go through free agency 5 or 6 times. He didn't even know what day it was. What that tells me is he wants to be there. You heard Steve Kerr last night, you heard Steph Curry, Draymond Green. They all want him there. But will Thompson stay? That question remains, and to Myers, it comes down to one thing: money. Klay will stay if he feels like he's been appreciated and paid what is appropriate, Myers explained. But if he's not, that's the question. It's always kind of a pride component, because it's not money. People will say, well, Klay Thompson has made all this money. Fine. But you know what? There's a pride component to it for any professional athlete. So, it's not just the money. He doesn't need any more money for the rest of his life. That's not the point, though. If somebody comes along and doubles the Warriors' offer, things might change. While Thompson's impending free agency has grabbed the spotlight on Golden State's offseason to-do list, Myers reiterated the overall results from the roster as a whole are problematic for a team that had the NBA's highest payroll this season. What do the Warriors do? It's not just about Klay Thompson. That's the hard question, Myers said. We're talking about Klay Thompson, but there's other things to be answered. Because you bring this team back, and Klay Thompson comes back, this is not an ending to what we saw was a healthy team that's acceptable for Joe Lacob and that payroll. Even with the Warriors finishing the season with 2 more wins than they did the previous year, they fell from the number 6 seed to the number 10 before being dispatched by the Sacramento Kings in the NBA play-in tournament. Despite an aging core, Curry is 36, while Thompson and Green both are 34. There appears to be plenty of tread left on Warriors' Big Three's tires, leaving questions about how long the storied group can stick together. Thompson shook off a rough start to his campaign to become one of the league's most consistent shooters during the second half of the regular season, a humbling reminder that the five-time NBA All-Star still holds tremendous value in a league that never can have enough elite-level shooting. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Klay Thompson? Leave your opinion in the comments.